What's up, YouTube? Mr. Llama here, and today we're going to be discussing a little bit of the combat mechanics and how they function. This is going to be kind of more of the basic side for how to hit monsters, why you sometimes miss your hits, and just kind of talking a little bit about that piece of the calculation, because this is something I think a lot of people need to understand. And it's also a reason why casters or things like a sing barb or whatever end up being faster through the game when they're just doing a playthrough, because of these sorts of pieces. So let's go ahead and start off. And the first thing that we have to start off with, of course, is this right here, which is your chance to hit calculation. So one thing to note is if you're a caster character where you're casting a spell, whether this is Warcry from a barbarian, where he shouts and stuns and damages everything, Frozen Orb from the sorceress, Lightning Fury kind of essentially is the same sort of thing. It's also always going to hit, and the lightning damage is going to spread from the Amazon, hammers from the Paladin. Anything that is a magic spell of that sort does not use this. It will always hit. And that is why they're so good, because it always hits. But for characters that do physical damage or use this calculation, such as not Smite, because Smite always hits, but like a Zealot or Frenzy Barbarian or an Amazon with a bow, or just trying to stab with normal javelins, not using Charge Strike or something like that, that's always going to hit, you have to go through this calculation right here. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what this calculation means, because I think it can be confusing. So, going to the first part, this is your attack rating versus the defender's defense rating. And this calculation is used in PvM, it's used in PvP. This is the same calculation right here. So you can see your attack rating divided by your attack rating plus their defense rating is going to be the first part of the calculation. So if you have very low attack rating and they have very high defense, you're going to have a low chance to hit from this part of the calculation. This is only half of the formula, though. The other half of the formula is right here, and this is your level divided by your level plus their level. So, of course, what does this mean? This means even if you have really good attack rating, if your opponent or the mob that you're fighting, the boss that you're fighting, is 30 levels higher than you, you're still going to have difficult time hitting them. And you might be like, I don't understand. My attack rating's so good. But once again, that is 50% of the formula. This is the other 50% of it, right? So that's the important thing to note. And you can see the abbreviations listed down below: attack rating, defense rating, attacker level, and defender level. So there's two components in determining whether or not you will hit them. Additionally, if you have something called ignore target defense, which is a modifier that you can find on certain weapons, all that does is remove this part of the formula. And it doesn't work on bosses either. But all it does is remove this part of the formula. So it does increase your chance to hit, but your level versus their level is still a part of the calculation. So if you go and try and fight a monster that is still very high leveled, even though you're ignoring their defense, you are not going to actually still be able to hit them quite as well as you would expect, because their level is still going to be a lot higher than your level, right? So that is how ignore target defense works, and this is how the whole formula right here works. And once again, this is the biggest difficulty for characters that don't do magic spells, basically, that don't cast hammers or blizzards or any of that stuff. This is the biggest difficulty right here. Their damage gets nerfed because they don't hit every single time. And not only is that a big nerf to the character because they're not hitting, so they're getting less damage output there, but additionally, in the way that Diablo 2 works, a lot of it is based on hit recovery and who kind of gets the other person locked up, right? So if I go into a group of monsters and there's 20 monsters surrounding me and I'm a sorceress and I cast Nova and it hits all of them before they hit me, a lot of them will get put in hit recovery, which means I'm going to be able to get my next cast off and I can kind of keep that chain going. If I dive in the middle of a group of monsters and they all hit me before I get my cast off, I'm going to go into hit recovery and I'm not going to get it off, and they're going to keep hitting me and keep putting me in hit recovery before I get my cast off, right? So this is a big part of Diablo 2 is who strikes first. And you can see right here, that's a big detriment to these sorts of characters. If they don't strike first and they're not guaranteed to strike first, then they're going to be in a lot more difficult situation. Also, a lot of times they're going to be a melee character or whatever, and so they're going to be standing in the middle of them, which is difficult, you know. So that's right. Cobra Kai, strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Exactly. So this is a big component to it. Now, another component that I want to talk about, and I'll bring up Diablo 2 to show this piece, is, I guess while that's coming up, I can show one more useful piece here. Let's go over to this. There is also a monster's chance to block, and this is something that you have to be aware of as well. So many monsters don't block, but there are some monsters that do block, right? And you can see their block percentages in Normal, Nightmare, and Hell. And then these monsters block without an animation. Doom Knights, Greater Mummies. And then these are all bosses here. Let me get the sheet to there. You can see Andariel, Duriel, Mephisto, Diablo, right? All of these monsters are going to have a pretty good chance to block. So, you know, trying to kill Baal with his 55% chance to block actually makes it a little bit more difficult, right? Actually makes it a little bit more difficult. So that's just something to note when fighting them. But what I want to show is I want to show another additional thing. And let's just create Barbarian, Mr. Barb, and we'll go out and run around with him. So one other piece of this game is that there is a distance between you and the monster, and your attack isn't going to hit the second that you swing. So if said monster moves away, and there's actually a miss. Oh, where is it? User interface, show misses. Where is that, you guys? Accessibility, attack miss indicator. See, it didn't say I missed, even though I missed him. Right? And I want to go and keep swinging at stuff so that I can actually miss something, so you can see me missing. So there you go. See that little X? That was I missed from that. And you say, oh, it's bugged, but it's not actually bugged. And that's the thing about it. There is also a range, and it is bugged in that it's not showing the ranges, which is kind of where the bug piece persists. See? I missed there, but I didn't hit him. That's not a miss. The miss calculator that they have right now is because of you're missing due to the attack rating calculation formula being, being existing, basically, right? So you went and swung at a monster, and you missed. There you go, miss, right? You're missing due to that right there. The misses that it's not showing, people think it's bugged and it's like, oh, the calculator's broken, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. Those misses are happening due to a range. So basically there's a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Like that. And I actually think on range 3 and 5, you get more of a swinging space, and 2 and 4 are just like a tiny addition. But there is a piece of the swing where when I wind up and swing my axe, if in that time the mob walks out of the range of my weapon, then I don't hit them. And it doesn't count as a miss because it's not doing the calculation. It's doing the range calculation, which is just saying, oh, okay, the mob's not in the space. And you might think that this is annoying, but this is also something that's really useful because you can use this yourself as well. This is what I love about it, right? See how I dodged? I'm dodging these hits from these guys. I haven't taken a hit yet, and they've swung 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, right? I didn't take a single hit right there, and I just had 8 swings at me. And of course, why is that the case? Because I dodged out of the way between them winding up and them actually attacking me. So this is something that I love about Diablo 2. A lot of people are like, oh, fix it so it always hits, blah, blah, blah. I hate that. I love that it exists like this in this game because it gives you the ability to be a little Muhammad Ali on the ropes, dodging all the hits every time you go in and out. This is what I use on Duriel all the time, right? You go up and you get Duriel into his swing animation and then you dodge out of his range. So he swings and he stops, and then you can get far enough away from him that you can cast something again or, set another fissure on the ground, whatever it is that you need to do. If you always got hit, he would always hit you, put you in hit recovery, and you're just going to be screwed while you're trying to get away. And if not, then he's always going to be chasing you, and you'll never get out of the way of his Holy Freeze. So by being able to abuse that and get monsters swinging at you, you're going to be able to have this dodging. So it's just something that's really important to note. And once again, something that is not a bug, that a lot of people just think is a bug. Because they're like, I didn't get the attack miss indicator. And sure, they could put it in as a miss as well, but I think what they're trying to show with that miss indicator is that you're missing an actual attack rating, hit rather than, or, whatever the whole chance to hit, rather than out of range. So, maybe they need an out of range indicator as well that goes along with it that gives a different symbol for when it's out of range. I don't know. But that is kind of a big piece there. So that's going to be the main stuff with kind of these combat mechanics to note. The other thing to note is that you can see your defense drops down to nothing there when you're actually running. If you're walking, you have defense. If you're running and you're running next to monsters, they will always hit you. I believe the level calculation also drops out of effect. I think the entire chance to hit calculation completely goes out. And to prove this, we'll grab our level 99 and we'll go to normal and we'll go to the cold plains. I have a mercenary, which is going to be unfortunate. But no mob should ever be able to hit me. And you can see they are hitting me. And you can tell they're hitting me because they're dying with attacker takes damage. But no monster is missing me right now. Right? None of those monsters are missing me. If you are running, you will always get hit. The chance for that drops completely. The formula just goes away, and so a monster will always hit you if you run by it, assuming that you're not getting out of the way. And you can know this is true because if I walk, they're also hitting me right now. Okay, hold up. Let me get my attacker takes damage off. Where is it? Screwing with everything. Spirit. Any other attacker takes damage? It's messing with our experiment. Dang it, they're still taking damage. What else has it? Oh. Perfect. So then now you can see they're missing me. Right? They're not hitting me. But when I run, They always will hit me. It is a guaranteed hit for them, assuming that I am in the range. But walking, they're going to miss. And that's because, once again, the defense piece right there. So, does this mean you should always walk everywhere? Well, no. It just means it's something you need to be aware of. And, you know, sometimes and a lot of times, you know, people will walk in certain situations. But walking actually does have a purpose right there for that. Oh, we have elite life without the spirit. Nice. So just something good right there. And then, of course, there's also your block chance, which does have effect. But when you run around, your block chance, let me see if it actually, okay, it's not saying it. Your block chance drops to, what, 1/3? Is that correct? I think it's 1/3. So your block chance does drop while you are running as well. So yeah, walking or standing still does have a benefit for your defenses for sure. But of course, then mobs are attacking you and hitting you and things like that. So yeah. So anyways, I think that we can even look it up. Blocking while running Diablo 2, just to make sure we get the correct number. It'll drop to 1/3 of its value. Yes. So I hope that that is helpful for you guys. I hope that you have gotten a little bit of added benefit. Yeah, you can see teleporting does not count as moving. You still have your defense while teleporting. It is just in the actual running state. I hope that this was beneficial and you learned a little bit more about the Diablo 2 mechanics. I'll do another video where we go into all of the like crushing blow and open wounds and deadly strike and all that stuff. But right here, I just wanted to get down into the basics of chance to hit, attack rating, levels, and just kind of range as well a little bit for the people that are very confused and think the game is bugged, right? So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace, YouTube.